The opening game of day two saw Austria taking on Belgium. Belgium came out strong, dominating a lot of possession, but it was actually Austria who broke the deadlock with a breakaway goal leading to a 2v1 at the back, which they snapped up to take a 1-0 lead into the quarter-time break. Strong words must have been had in that quarter-time break because Belgium came out firing straight away, bagging 2 goals within the first minute of the second quarter. Belgium piled on the pressure but were unable to extend their lead before half-time. In the second half, Belgium really ran through the gears as they bagged 4 goals in both the third and fourth quarter. Belgium finished up winning 10-1 with 2 goals for Hendrik and 2 goals for Boone within that mix. Austria were missing their captain, who unfortunately picked up an injury in one of the warm-up games and so wasn't able to take part in the game. The second game saw Netherlands taking on Spain in the men's competition. It was a fairly even start to the game, both sides having a fair share of possession, but Netherlands really having a little bit more and fashioning the better chances. It was Netherlands who eventually broke the deadlock in the second quarter with a quick counter-attack breakaway goal, leading to a thunderous reverse across goal to take a 1-0 lead into the halftime break. It was the Netherlands who struck again with a fantastic through ball and a couple of quick passes leading to a tap-in at the back post, giving them a 2-0 lead. The Dutch then doubled down just over a minute later with some fantastic strength in the D holding onto the ball before spinning in place to find himself on the penalty spot with a free shot at goal. He fired the ball low into the goal to give Netherlands a 3-0 win, which they held until the final whistle. The third game saw Netherlands women taking on Ireland. The Dutch really came out strong, but Ireland were able to hold their own. Some fantastic saves by the Irish goalkeeper keeping her side in it. But it was unfortunately a bit of bad luck that broke the deadlock. A good save again by the Irish goalkeeper, but unfortunately the rebound came up, striking the Irish defender, knocking it behind her to a Dutch player waiting on the post, who snapped up the chance, taking the goal to give her side the 1-0 lead. The Dutch continued to pile on the pressure, but again were unable to find the back of the net thanks to some fantastic defending from Ireland. But it was inevitably Janssen who stepped up from a penalty corner to take a second goal and a 2-0 lead. Early in the final quarter, the Dutch had to do some defending of their own, some fantastic saves by Veenendaal in the net, keeping her clean sheet intact after some heavy Irish pressure, but the Dutch then took back over and were able to run out the game, preserving their 2-0 lead. The fourth game saw Germany taking on France in the women's competition. The hosts came out strong, piling on the early pressure, and that pressure eventually paid off with them finding the back of the net to take the lead. The goal came just before the end of quarter one. A quick breakaway from the German side, rapidly moving up the pitch, led to a 2v1, with the German player slotting the ball home over the French goalkeeper's shoulder. Germany had a second right before the end of the quarter, pouncing on a loose ball from a missed trap in the circle that broke just in front of the goalkeeper to fire the ball home with mere seconds left on the clock. The second quarter continued more of the same, with Germany piling on that pressure. Again, Germany's pressure paid off as they were able to add a third goal. An overhead into the circle and some precision passing along the baseline found the ball just in front of goal for a tap-in to give them their third. They added a fourth just before half-time from a penalty corner routine, snapping up a 4-0 lead before the half-time break. France were able to grab one back in the second half from a penalty corner routine of their own, but Germany were able to run out the game 4-1. The final game saw France taking on Poland. France started strong, moving the ball well, but there was a little bit of a disconnect between their players, possibly a hangover from the performance that they put in yesterday against Germany, not being able to find the connections quite as well as they had done in the previous game. It was actually Poland who were able to strike first, picking up a loose ball and counter-attacking, finding themselves in the D where a stick tackle came in and they were awarded a penalty stroke, which was calmly slotted home to give them the 1-0 lead. France came back shortly after the restart of quarter two, after a sloppy ball out from the back led to France getting an overload in the circle and being able to level the game up. Poland immediately struck back with a penalty corner goal of their own to give themselves back the 2-1 lead. France were able to battle back into the game, creating several chances, but the goal came from what else? A Charlet penalty corner. France were able to double down on this and get the lead for the first time in the game. This time, a routine on a penalty corner, finding a deflection onto the postman awarding them a penalty stroke, which Charlier stepped up again to dispatch. Poland were able to level things up early in the third quarter with some high-pitched pressure, leading to a high turnover, which allowed them into the D for a fantastic drilled ball across and a tap-in at the back post to even the game up 3-3. France were able to strike back immediately. A fantastic through ball deflected just outside the D towards the penalty spot, and a diving Clement steering the ball past the goalkeeper as he rushed out to cover. France were able to seal the game in the final quarter. Some fantastic team play down the right, found the ball to the P spot. The goalkeeper pulled out an amazing save to keep the first shot out, but unfortunately it broke back to the French player, who was able to lift the ball over the goalkeeper, who was still down from the initial save. France taking the game 4-3.